The story of Jesus feeding the 5,000 is found in all four Gospels. That doesn't happen very often, that all four deal with kind of the same thing. That story in and of itself is very interesting, and children delight to hear it. One of the first stories probably they hear in Bible school. But just after that is Jesus walking on the water. And once again, some fascinating things. Not every gospel writer tells of all these facts, and particularly about Peter. And about Peter then walking on the water. But you remember the story, how that Peter says, "Lord, it is you. Command me to come to you on the water." And you can't help but be impressed with his faith at this point. After all, of all the disciples, he's the only one who's saying, "Let me, and if you say it, I can do it. I know I can do it. I too can walk on water." But of course then, as he does, then he sees the wind, and it's apparently very boisterous. Then he begins to be afraid, and he sinks. And that's when we find him saying to Jesus, "Lord, save me." And Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him. I've heard this preached before, and someone say, it's better to be in the water with Jesus than in the boat without Jesus. And then kind of various applications made from that. And you can think of a number of things. Maybe God's told us to do something. It's a little bit outside of our comfort zone. Maybe it's even beyond what we think is our ability, but yet God says to do it. I have an idea that getting outside that boat would have been outside of all of our comfort zones. We wouldn't have felt very confident to do it. Can we say this? Except for Jesus. When God commands us to do something, once again, maybe it's something we don't like. Maybe it's something we're not comfortable with. Maybe it's something we don't even think we have the skills to do. But if we recognize in God's Word that He teaches it and we're responsible to do it, I'd rather be doing it with Jesus than not doing it without Jesus. Now, what is that for you? You know, for some it may be, they're literally, when they read the Great Commission, they think, preacher, elder, deacon, not me. But yet, wouldn't evangelism have an application to all of it, all of us? Maybe with regards to giving, somebody thinks, well, that's for these folks, those folks, and maybe some of those. Not for me. But once again, you know, it is for us. We'd rather doing it with Jesus than not doing it without Jesus. How else would you apply it? I think it could have many applications. Rather be in the water with Jesus than in the boat without Jesus. I'd rather be doing whatever Jesus tells me, knowing He's with me, than refusing to do it and to be without Him. If we could assist you in your obedience tonight, maybe the need to be immersed, maybe a need for prayer, we ask that you come as we stand and